Ricky Nelson. The name conjures images of a clean-cut teen idol, crooning hits like Hello, Mary Lou, and charming audiences on The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet. He was a television phenomenon, a music pioneer, and a beloved figure who seemingly had it all. Yet, on a cold New Year's Eve in 1985, his life, and those of his fiancée and band members, ended in a fiery plane crash that left more questions than answers. For decades, the official story felt incomplete, shrouded in whispers and speculation. But now, after years of relentless investigation, the full, uncomfortable truth about that fateful flight has finally come to light, revealing a reality far more disturbing than anyone imagined. Long before the tragic final act, Ricky Nelson was charting an extraordinary course. Born Eric Hilliard Nelson, he was practically raised in the spotlight, appearing alongside his parents, Ozzie and Harriet, on their iconic radio and television series. This was no ordinary childhood. It was a public spectacle chronicling the everyday life of the Nelson family, shaping a generation's view of American domesticity. Yet, unlike many child stars who found themselves trapped by their early fame, Ricky possessed an innate charisma and talent that propelled him beyond the confines of a sitcom. He dared to venture into the rebellious new world of rock and roll when it was still considered controversial. In 1957, his cover of Fats Domino's "I'm Walkin'" shot to the top of the charts, not only launching a parallel music career, but also solidifying his status as a bona fide teen idol. Throughout the late 1950s and into the 60s, Nelson churned out hit after hit, his smooth voice and wholesome image making rock music palatable to mainstream audiences. He was a trailblazer, bringing rock and roll directly into millions of American living rooms through national television appearances, foreshadowing the immense influence of future acts like the Beatles. By his early 20s, he'd sold millions of records, cementing his place as one of the era's top-selling male solo artists. But a true artist never stands still, and Ricky Nelson's career was never without its hurdles. As the vibrant landscape of music began to shift in the mid-1960s, Nelson faced the daunting challenge of maintaining his chart-topping dominance. Instead of merely chasing fleeting trends, he made a conscious choice to evolve, delving into a more mature, introspective country rock sound. This artistic pivot eventually led to the formation of the Stone Canyon Band, a group that wasn't just a backup, but a pioneering force in the burgeoning country rock genre, laying groundwork later explored by groups like the Eagles. The ultimate expression of this evolution came in 1972 with the release of Garden Party, a massive comeback hit. The song, famously inspired by a disappointing Madison Square Garden concert, where the audience clamored only for his old hits, became a defiant anthem. It wasn't just a catchy tune, it was Ricky's declaration of artistic integrity, a powerful message affirming that sometimes you've simply got to please yourself. Beyond the electrifying stages and chart-topping records, Ricky Nelson carved out a compelling presence in the world of film and television, showcasing a talent that extended far beyond his musical gifts. His on-screen journey began early, capitalizing on his family's fame in the 1952 comedy Here Come the Nelsons. Just a year later, he nabbed a memorable, albeit small, role in the MGM production The Story of Three Loves, directed by the legendary Vincente Minnelli. Even as a young actor, Nelson displayed a clear knack for bringing characters to life. His soaring popularity in music and on The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet inevitably caught the attention of major Hollywood players. A defining moment arrived in 1959 when acclaimed director Howard Hawks cast him as a gunslinger in the classic Western Rio Bravo. Starring alongside titans like John Wayne and Dean Martin, Nelson injected fresh energy into the film, with Hawkes himself crediting his magnetic presence as a key factor in the movie's impressive box office success. He continued to build his acting resume, sharing the screen with established stars like Jack Lemmon in The Wackiest Ship in the Army. Ever eager to explore diverse roles, Nelson made numerous guest appearances on popular shows like General Electric Theater, Hondo, and The Love Boat, often blending his acting chops with his musical talents, performing hits for delighted fans. Whether on the big screen or the small, Ricky Nelson's acting career was a vibrant extension of his multifaceted artistic legacy, a testament to his enduring charm and talent. Beneath the glittering surface of Hollywood fame, Ricky Nelson's personal life, particularly his romantic pursuits, were under constant scrutiny. As a beloved teen idol, he attracted immense attention from fans and the media, and naturally, the affection of many young women. While he was eager to explore relationships like any young man, his mother, Harriet Nelson, exerted significant influence. As his co-star on their long-running television series, Harriet held firm beliefs about propriety and maintaining a respectable public image. She often disapproved of the young women Ricky brought home, feeling they didn't meet the standards she envisioned for her son. Her concerns extended beyond class or decorum. She believed his focus should remain firmly on his burgeoning career, undisturbed by fleeting romances. This protectiveness stemmed from a mother's deep instinct and a keen understanding of how fame could derail a young star's life. Ricky, while often respectful, keenly felt the tension between his personal desires and professional expectations, a recurring theme throughout his adolescence and early adulthood. Eventually, however, Ricky fell for a young woman who seemed to finally win Harriet's approval, Kristen Harmon. Their marriage in April 1963 was a highly publicized event, uniting two prominent American families. Chris was the daughter of Heisman Trophy winner Tom Harmon and 1940s film actress Elise Knox. The Harmons were close friends of the Nelsons, and the union was widely seen as a natural, desirable match, a fairy tale wedding between two children of Hollywood royalty. Both families shared a deep connection through entertainment and public life, and their marriage symbolized a continuation of their legacies. Ricky and Chris went on to have 4 children: Tracy, who became an actress, and twin sons, Gunnar and Matthew, who inherited their father's musical talent and found success in the 1990s with their band Nelson, becoming the first family act in history to have 3 generations of hitmakers. Their youngest, Sam, also found his way into the arts. Yet despite the outward image of a perfect family, Ricky and Chris's marriage faced mounting challenges. Strains intensified after their last child's birth, as differences in lifestyle, personal growth, and emotional distance widened the gap. Ricky's demanding touring schedule and drive to revitalize his music career kept him on the road, while Chris reportedly struggled with the pressures of family life. Whispers of infidelity and growing emotional disconnects turned what appeared to be a glamorous union into a private unraveling under the weight of personal issues and conflicting priorities. The relationship deteriorated throughout the late 1970s and early 1980s, leading to separation and a lengthy, painful legal battle over custody, finances, and public image. Their divorce was finalized in December 1982, ending a nearly 2-decade marriage. Despite the emotionally taxing proceedings, both remained devoted to their children. Ricky, in particular, was deeply affected by the marriage's collapse, and its melancholic themes surfaced in some of his later music. For decades, fans of Ricky Nelson, the teen idol, rock and roll pioneer, and television star, have speculated endlessly about the exact circumstances surrounding his tragic and untimely death. While some facts were known early on, many key questions lingered. Was it truly a mechanical failure that brought down the plane? Or was there something far more sinister at play on that fateful flight on December 31st, 1985? Over the years, the mystery surrounding Nelson's demise became a subject of intense, sorrowful curiosity. Now, after years of painstaking investigation, expert analysis, and newly surfaced accounts from witnesses and insiders, the full story has finally come into focus, and what it reveals is far from comforting. At the heart of the mystery lies the small DC-3 plane that Ricky and his band were on, en route to a New Year's Eve concert in Dallas, Texas. Early reports claimed a mechanical issue, perhaps a malfunctioning heater or an electrical short, caused a fire on board, leading to the devastating crash near DeKalb, Texas. The plane caught fire mid-air, and while the two pilots miraculously survived, Ricky Nelson, his fiancée Helen Blair, and 5 band members perished in the inferno. In the wake of the disaster, rumors swirled. Some blamed drug use. Others pointed fingers at faulty maintenance. Still others whispered about sabotage or hidden foul play. For years, the official cause was shrouded in ambiguity. The National Transportation Safety Board, NTSB, eventually ruled that the fire originated in the cabin, likely due to a malfunctioning heater, but they couldn't determine the exact ignition source. Meanwhile, speculation ran wild in tabloids and among fans. Whispers of freebasing C0 fueled by rumors that drug paraphernalia had been found at the scene, painted a darker narrative that many believed unfairly tainted Nelson's image. However, toxicology reports found no illegal substances in Nelson's system, and no concrete evidence ever linked the fire to DRG use. Still, the cloud of uncertainty lingered for decades, leaving an open wound for his family and a haunting question mark for fans. What finally brought resolution were a series of investigative breakthroughs, made possible by the persistence of aviation historians, forensic analysts, and journalists who were determined to uncover the unvarnished truth. Previously overlooked technical records, combined with new interviews with aviation mechanics and the surviving pilots, revealed a much clearer and far more disturbing picture. The aircraft, a World War II-era Douglas DC-3, had been egregiously poorly maintained and was operating under shockingly questionable safety conditions. Despite being fully aware of repeated problems with the heater system, problems that had been noted and complained about on previous flights, the plane's operators failed to address them adequately. Even more damningly, the heater had been jury-rigged in a way that made it a ticking time bomb, with makeshift repairs that flagrantly disregarded aviation safety standards. The heater was positioned just beneath the cabin floorboards, dangerously close to highly flammable materials. When it inevitably malfunctioned during the flight, it sparked a fire that rapidly filled the cabin with choking smoke and toxic fumes. The absence of an onboard fire extinguisher and fire-retardant insulation left the passengers with absolutely no chance. Ricky Nelson and the others likely succumbed to smoke inhalation before the crash landing, according to forensic reports. While the pilots managed to escape through the cockpit windows, for everyone else in the cabin, it was tragically too late. The most chilling revelation was not merely that the fire could have been prevented, but that the individuals responsible for the aircraft knew it was dangerous and flagrantly allowed it to fly anyway. In hindsight, the flight was a catastrophe waiting to happen, a disaster meticulously engineered by negligence. The final mystery, how such a prominent figure could meet his end in such a preventable tragedy, was at last answered. But not with the kind of closure that brings peace. Instead, it has brought renewed sadness and outrage. Ricky Nelson, A beloved entertainer who had blossomed from child star to musical legend, was lost not to fate or personal failure, but to human negligence and systemic oversight. The truth, now laid bare, is incredibly difficult to swallow. It paints a painful portrait of an avoidable disaster and serves as a stark reminder that even icons are vulnerable when those tasked with their safety fail them. Ricky Nelson's vibrant legacy as a cultural figure endures, but the circumstances of his death serve as a grim cautionary tale. Sometimes mysteries, when finally solved, don't bring comfort. Sometimes they only deepen the tragedy.